The problem with the last Mission Impossible was that it was absolutely devoid of all sexual energy because the women in it were men. So I went and saw the new Mission Impossible, the final Mission Impossible, at least they say it is, the final reckoning. I like this movie. I have to say, it didn't get great reviews. I really disliked the last movie, and I was wondering why, but this one is really good. I found it really entertaining. You got to check your IQ at the door with these films, but they kind of know it. It's funny. It doesn't take itself seriously. It understands. Like every line of dialogue is about how wonderful Ethan Hunt is. It's like every single line. And I got to be honest with you, at this point, like I support Tom Cruise. If he would send me his address, I would probably skip the movie and just send him my money because he's the one person who's trying to entertain people, who's just trying to put some, he doesn't put very specific values, but he has a value on him. Puts good value on America. He puts a value on some kind of spiritual belief. All throughout this movie, people keep saying, I will see you again, even when they're dying. They say, I will see you again. And so it's very clear what he's saying there, that there is a spiritual world and there is rewards and punishments in that spiritual world. He doesn't have to preach Jesus to me, although the main thing in it is this cross. They keep saying it's like cruciform. You get it? It's shaped like a cross. The dialogue is hilarious. It's all like, everything has led to this. Ethan, you've saved the world a dozen times, but you're going to have to really save the world this time. But and the villain is so villainous. He actually laughs and says, ha ha ha, I've got you now, Ethan. That's the level. It's like a Saturday morning serial, from the old silent movie days. And they just do it, and they do it with humor, and they do it with fun, and it really is exciting. And that was the other thing. The last one, which is the first part of these two parts, the last one was just flat. And I sat there watching, and even the spectacular special effects were just flat. This one, I watched there's two amazing set pieces in it. And I'm sitting there actually listening, oh no, Ethan's in trouble, that kind of thing that happens to you in a movie theater. The stunts are amazing. Cruise is amazing, and I really love the fact that Cruise just shows up as an actor. He's a very good actor, actually. He's not, he's a limited actor, but he's a good actor in his sphere. And he shows up. These scripts they're dopey cartoon scripts, but he reads them like he means them, He reads them like he's actually in the part. And it's just a good time. And it's a long movie, and I really had a good time watching it. And so I was thinking about this. What is it? What is it about it? Now, the other day, my wife and I can very rarely find films that we watch together. Because, when I met my wife and we moved in together like moments after we met. I don't even think we finished the day out. I was like so crazy about her. But, she used to smoke and drink. And there was a time, seriously, this literally happened, where she and I danced through San Francisco, the streets of San Francisco, with the cigarettes dangling out of our mouths and with a drink in our hand, right? And then, of course, the minute I married her, gave up drinking, gave up smoking, turned into an absolutely, pure person. So it was all a snare. It was all just luring me in, thinking that I was going to be able to destroy myself and her together, that a marriage would last a couple of years and then we'd be dead. But she was just luring me in. But another thing, she used to like to go to action films. And now she says, I like action films. And I said, when's the last time you watched an action film? Like never. So it's very rare we can find something that we both want to watch. But the other day I asked her if she'd ever seen The Bourne Identity, and she said no. And I said, there are two perfect action movies. One is Die Hard, and one is The Bourne Identity. There are other great action movies, but there's two perfect ones. And even Die Hard is not as perfect as The Bourne Identity. I do this very rarely, but when I come upon a novel or a film that I think is doing something at such a high level that even I can learn from it, I will break it down scene by scene and take a look at where it went and how they did it and what it was that impressed me so much. And I did that with The Bourne Identity because I simply thought it was perfect. And one of the things that's perfect about it is the female character. And this is really interesting because she's kind of a loser. And what's so realistic about that is that, she goes with Bourne on this journey that he takes. And Franca Potente, a German actress who had kind of become big because she had done a film called Run, Lola, Run, I think. So she got this part, and she plays a kind of loser girl who's always getting, dumped and getting into affairs and all this stuff. And who else would go with Bourne on the run like this? That makes sense. And she doesn't suddenly become an action star in it. There's a fight scene, one of the best fight scenes in any film ever, where a guy breaks in and Bourne finally manages to beat him up. And while he is questioning him, Franca Potente is finding out that people are watching her. She has no idea that this guy is a master assassin and he's a spy, and they're watching her. And she just falls apart. And this is the scene where he's questioning this guy, and she finds out this information.
Answer me! Who are you?
He's got my picture.
Right,
This is so it's
No.
I don't know how. Where do you get this?
Marie,
How do you get my
Marie, stay there.
picture? Where do you get this from?
I'll do this. You stay there. Stay there.
See, don't do this, I'll do this. He's the guy, he's the action man. She goes into shock by the end of the scene. It makes this fight scene, which of course, the fight scene is not realistic in the sense that, one punch usually just knocks somebody out, but they kill each other. They just beat the living hell out of each other as they do in these scenes. But it's a great fight scene. And it makes the fight scene realistic, that she's realistic. She's like a woman. She's like people that we know. The problem with the last Mission Impossible was that it was absolutely devoid of all sexual energy because the women in it were men. They were just men with nice shapes. You like looking at the shapes, but they beat people up. Whereas the woman in this one, played by Hallie Atwell, is a thief. So she has a few moments where she fights and all this stuff, and there's another woman who's a killer, and it's ridiculous and all. But she's kind of girly, She just has this skill. I don't mind women having skills. Women have skills. I don't mind them having courage. Women have courage. I mind them beating people up. There's a new spin-off of the Wick movies called Ballerina. So it's from the John Wick universe, Ballerina. And in this one, the trainer says to the ballerina, you can't beat a man. You have to fight like a girl. And I think, okay. But then the rest of the film, she just fights like John Wick, So it's just it's ridiculous. I love my Helix mattress because I stay awake all night and it's incredibly comfortable. I don't know why you would want one. Oh, probably to sleep on, because it's comfortable to sleep on as well. And one thing I really love about the Helix mattress is how well it does with temperature regulation. This is a big deal for me. It really eases some of those annoying middle of the night wake-ups, and that's essential as the temperatures continue to warm up and we head into summer. It's even easy to connect the mattress to other wearable devices so you can actually see the data to back up your sleep improvements each night with no more questioning. What makes Helix different is they don't just sell you a random mattress. They actually match you with the perfect one for your body and sleep style. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or like me, a non-sleeper, they've got you covered. All you have to do is take their sleep quiz and find your ideal match. Trust me, when you find the right match, you'll wonder how you ever slept on anything else. Right now is actually the perfect time to upgrade your sleep because Helix is offering a fantastic summer sale. Go to helixsleep.com/Klavan to get 20% off site-wide. That's helixsleep.com/Klavan for 20% off site-wide. I have to tell you, make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/Klavan. You're probably thinking, well, how do you spell Klavan? It's Klavan. But I have to tell you, these mattresses are really comfortable, and I know because I lie on them all night and I'm wide awake. But you will lie on them, you'll be out like that. There can't be any sexual tension if women aren't women. There can't be any life if women aren't women. I mean, this is the whole problem. And I think that women think that they are being made strong by watching these false images of them beating men up, but they're actually being made weak by being told that their value is if they can become more like men instead of being like women who inspire men, who can outwit men, who can enchant men, but can't beat men up. You can't, if they're equally matched, the man is going to destroy them. And so this is a problem, and they solved that problem in this Mission Impossible, and they also solved the problem of humor and not taking things seriously. One of my favorite scenes in the film, and it's a slight giveaway, but not really a big spoiler since you know what's going to happen anyway, but one of my favorite scenes in the movie is when there's a fight scene and it takes place entirely off screen. And the reason is, what's going to happen. It's going to be kind of ugly and disgusting, and you've seen all the fights, So they just don't put it on screen. And you just see the woman reacting to Ethan Hunt beating this guy up. And it's really, really clever. There's another scene where they do this, which I won't tell you about, where you know what's going to happen. And so they just do it. They take the sound out and they do it as almost a sort of throwaway scene. So it's just really cleverly done. I think that, and as I say, the rest of it is a really interesting, it's not intellectual, it's not deep or anything like this, but it's a really interesting take on the power of AI. And there's more about that. I would like to talk more about that in one of the shows about what's happening with AI. But it really is kind of a insightful villain in having this AI villain and what it takes to stop him and how it takes human beings and how friendship matters and how a team of human beings can take on AI. It's lots and lots of fun, and I recommend it. I think, and you should see it on the big screen. As Cruise himself says, he comes on at the beginning and thanks you for coming to see it on the big screen where it was meant to happen, which is better than watching Nicole Kidman because Cruise can still move his face. For more Klavan-y goodness, like and subscribe. And for even more, subscribe to The Andrew Klavan Show wherever you get your podcasts.